Hey, good evening. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. It is the 1st of May, 2022. Go. We've got a tornado warning late this evening. It's going to be a tornado warning up in the northern Texas Panhandle. That does include the city of Dumas. This is going to be Highway 287. North of the city of Amarillo in Moore County, and does include the city of Dumas. So again, this is going to be a tornado warning through 12:15 a.m. for the city of Dumas and central Moore County. So if you're in Dumas, you're about to get hit by large hail, and you're also under a tornado warning. So we want you to take shelter. That's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And let me go ahead and show you why there's a tornado warning. We'll switch over to the which way the wind's blowing mode. And while the radar is being a little funky with the data, I'll go ahead and highlight what we're watching. This area of circulation aloft that has continued to increase over the last several minutes. Now, it's not necessarily in association with a direct reflectivity echo at this point, so it's not completely clear if this is a circulation aloft that is a bit ahead of the storm itself and thus not really much of a tornado threat, or if this is a developing circulation and we're just starting to see the reflectivity play catch up a bit. Either way, if you're in the city of Dumas, the threat for a tornado will probably stay south of town, but we're likely seeing the potential for hail up to the size of baseballs in Dumas right now. So again, the reason we're here, we've got a tornado warning for central Moore County in the Texas Panhandle until 12:15, and this does include the city of Dumas, technically. Though I think the tornado threat would stay south of Dumas. The potential for large hail, definitely in Dumas right now. The potential for hail up to the size of baseballs. You might remember earlier, if you were watching, I described how we weren't necessarily dealing with a tornado threat in the Panhandle this afternoon because moisture levels were too low in the lower levels, but we've had a warm front move north, and that has helped introduce an environment somewhat supportive for tornado genesis further north. So with this supercell thunderstorm showing clear evidence of mid-level rotation, the Weather Service in Amarillo has issued a tornado warning. Now, I'm going to dive into North Texas real quick while we're here. We're going to take a quick look at all this stuff going on. Strong storms, some lightning, thunder, small hail in North Texas at this point, but nothing that is severe. Maybe some hail up to the size of peas in spots with this activity. And that'll be moving off to the east-northeast, some beneficial rain, so that is good. And then the only other severe storms we're dealing with right now are down in the southwestern North Texas. This storm, hail up to the size of golf balls, going to be near Goldwaite here in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Otherwise, yeah, just hailers and spots, but the reason we're here is we have a tornado warning for central Moore County in the northern Texas Panhandle, and this runs through 12:15 a.m. Golf ball to baseball size hail possibly falling in Dumas right now, and if we have a low-level circulation attempting to spin up, it's going to be likely south of town several miles, about to cross over Highway 287. I know we're talking about a relatively sparsely populated area, but nevertheless, we are here and we're going to cover it until the threat is diminished. So in Dumas, y'all are getting hail right now, likely golf ball to baseball size. And if there is a tornado, it's likely going to be several miles south of town. Nevertheless, we would encourage folks to remain in shelter if you're in Dumas, especially away from west-facing windows. Thank you, Laura, for that report. That's good to know. Y'all might be getting some hail here in the next couple of minutes. So otherwise, this is the only tornado warning we're dealing with. Storms in North Texas right now, with the exception of a storm near Brownwood and Goldwaite, are not severe. They are loud and proud. Lightning, thunder, maybe some gusty winds, pea-sized hail, heavy rain, but they are not severe, and we're not really expecting them to become severe for the most part. The only tornado warning we have is for this storm near the city of Dumas. Large hail in Dumas, and if we have a tornado, it would likely be south of town. I'll go ahead and start doing some detailed analyzing for you. Watching these kinks right here. It's not your typical hook echo. If we're being frank here, this hook echo is more of a signature of a storm that's somewhat moisture deprived in the low levels. But when you pop over the velocity, you can definitely tell we've got at least a broad area of rotation. And given the radar signature, given the borderline supportive environment for a low tornado threat, the Weather Service in Amarillo's put a tornado warning out until 12:15 a.m. So this possible tornado is likely, or at least area of rotation is likely about to cross 287. It's going to be north of Highway 354 by a couple of miles. Switch back over to the which way winds blowing mode, and that's not helpful for display purposes, but you can see the hail core is in the city of Dumas now. So, fairly confident Dumas is at least getting some hail. Thank you, Maribel. All right, low volume noted. All right, you're probably going to hear me much better now. Can you hear me now? You should be able to. All right, well, y'all should be able to hear me just fine now. My audio levels have definitely increased. So, again, there's only one tornado warning right now, and that's with this thunderstorm near Dumas in the northern Texas Panhandle. Not expecting tornado issues in North Texas tonight. Storms in North Texas by far behaving themselves. Maybe some small hail, a lot of lightning, gusty winds. If you want to know about weather warnings in your area, storms, head on over to the Texas Storm Chasers Interactive Weather Radar at texasstormchasers.com/radar, or just the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Dumas, y'all are likely getting hail, and it could be on the nasty side of things. We'll switch over to the which way the wind's blowing mode. And if there's a circulation, it honestly isn't that far north of Highway 354 and Highway 287, maybe 3 miles. Dumas, I'm confident in saying if there's a tornado, it's going to be south of town by probably several miles at least. But it's hailing in Dumas, and it could be wind-driven hail. So we want folks to go ahead and be in a safe place, especially when dealing with wind-driven hail near windows. So hopefully we'll get through this all right. Storm will be out of the city of Dumas in the next 10 minutes, moving east, northeast. And hopefully we'll see any indications of rotation diminish to a point where we're able to get rid of this tornado warning and just deal with a hailer. And I'll zoom out to the entire state of Texas. Y'all can see we've got a few severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got a pretty strong storm in northern Mexico. We'll have to see if that crosses over the Rio Grande into the Edwards Plateau, but otherwise, showers and a few storms in the Edwards Plateau. Del Rio, Eagle Pass, it's raining a bit right now. I'm going to set this loop up. You can see just over the last hour, we have a single severe storm northwest of Goldwaith, the potential for hail up to the size of golf balls. We've got a storm just northeast of Brownwood, potential for hail up to the size of $half. That's a bit over the size of a quarter. And then otherwise, we just have showers and thunderstorms, a few strong storms with small hail in western North Texas moving east. Beneficial rains, to be honest. Not expecting high-end severe weather with this. Can't rule out some hail, but I'm not really worried about a tornado issue. And I mean, nothing really to write home or worry about in that department. The reason we're here is we have a tornado warning for a severe storm that sprung up pretty quickly near the city of Dumas in central Moore County across the northern Texas Panhandle. Okay, so again, those of you wondering about weather information for your specific town, head on over to the interactive weather radar on the Texas Storm Chasers website, texasstormchasers.com/radar, or just download the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Hail core now moving on the eastern sides of the city of Dumas, should be out of town here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Switch back over to the which way the wind's blowing mode. We still see a broad area of rotation several miles south of Dumas, but to be frank, it's not a super strong area of rotation. I would not be at all surprised if this storm is producing winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour, but again, that may not necessarily be tornadic. Still, it's dangerous enough. You're going to have a lot of blowing dust. You're going to have probably some small objects flying around in the wind. And this storm is also capable of producing golf ball to tennis ball size hail. So this will be east of Dumas within the next 5 minutes. After that, the storm will be moving into eastern sections of Moore County, which is north of Amarillo by 30 to 45 miles. If this storm were to continue on its present course, it may pass near Stinnett to Pringle to Morse Junction in about 45 to 60 minutes. With a threat for hail. I am honestly not anticipating this going to be a long-duration tornado issue. As you can see, the National Weather Service has just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning that does include Dumas, Sunray, Four-Way, and Pringle until 1 a.m. A severe thunderstorm located near the city of Dumas, which is about 30 miles north of Amarillo, moving east at 25 miles an hour. This storm's capable of producing golf ball to tennis ball size hail and damaging winds over 60 miles an hour. That could cause blowing dust, throw some small objects around, especially if tomorrow's trash day. Glad to hear it, Karen. So, Dumas, if you're west of 287, it's probably going to stop raining here any minute. If you're on the eastern sides of Dumas, hail core should be moving out over the next 5 minutes. Storm will be east of y'all within 10 minutes. If you look off to the east, you'll probably have one heck of a lightning show. And if we had a tornado, it would likely now be on Highway 287, probably 5 miles south of town. Not really convinced we have a tornado, to be honest. But again, can't rule it out, and there's a tornado warning. Tiffany, that is actually Really good to know. Pea-sized hail, nothing bigger, but a lot of it. That could also be why the radar is showing such a strong signature in terms of the purples. May not necessarily be a lot of super big hail, but we could be seeing a copious amount of smaller hail. But I would not be surprised if some folks ended up getting hail closer to golf balls or maybe even a bit bigger. So we'll switch down into North Texas real quick. I'll switch on the radar loop. We'll just take a loop real quick. And again, these storms in North Texas are mostly behaving themselves. Some are capable of producing some hail. The only severe storm we have is north of Goldwaite. Does that mean these storms are not going to go severe? No, honestly, there'll probably be a couple of severe warnings. You see this storm south of Breckenridge trying to perk up in the hail department again. I'm not expecting a tornado issue. So, again, these storms moving into North Texas, they're loud, they're proud. Some might have hail that qualifies for a severe thunderstorm warning, but I'm not expecting a tornado issue tonight with these storms unless something really crazy happens. And let's not challenge Mother Nature, but, reasonably speaking, I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. Otherwise, these storms are generally moving east at about 25 miles an hour. Thank you, Christiane. Thank you, Karen. I'll pass your report along to the Weather Service in Amarillo right now. Just had a report from a train spotter of 2-inch hail, which is bigger than golf ball, a mile northwest of Dumas. So sounds like some parts of Dumas got nasty hail, some parts got not as nasty hail. So Goldwaite, we'll zoom on into y'all. This storm will stay north of town, it looks like, closer to Mullen. Potential for maybe golf ball sized hail, which is definitely enough to cause problems. If you're in Dumas, the threat for a tornado is east of 287 now, and frankly, not all that impressive looking at this second. We'll switch back over to the radar here in the Panhandle and take a look again. Dumas, you're clear. Go back to bed. This storm is now moving east of Dumas at about 25 miles an hour. So if you're in Dumas, go back to bed. You're good now. Bowie, you're not going to have a tornado tonight. Go to bed. Again, I'll just actually, everyone's asking in chats. I'm just going to type out the response. Head on south into central Texas, the hill country, south central Texas. You can see we've got a few showers and thunderstorms across south central Texas this morning. Nothing severe, just lightning, thunder, some small hail. The only severe storm is on the Mexico side of the Rio Grande. That's a supercell with probably baseball-sized hail, but that's staying on the Mexico side. We note eventually, if for some reason it's still around in a couple hours, it may be a threat to Laredo, but should be in a much weakened state by then, hopefully. Small hail possible just south of Yolvade. We have showers, maybe some lightning in Del Rio. So, unless something drastic happens, I do expect the tornado warning to be allowed to expire for Dumas. Or excuse me, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire for the Dumas area. It continues southeast of town. So it looks like the tornado warning will be allowed to expire, which means no more tornado warning. Just severe thunderstorm warnings. And again, we're going to have severe thunderstorm warnings in spots through the night. You can see a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for northern Eastland, southern Stevens County. This is for a thunderstorm that might be producing quarter to ping pong ball size hail on 183 south of Breckenridge, probably near and north of where 183 and 112 split off. And this would be moving towards southern Palo Pinto County. So with that being said, we'll be keeping an eye out for sure tonight, but really not expecting much in the way of tornadic mischief. It's just going to be a lot of storms, some heavy rain. Some storms are going to be capable of producing hail, but we are not expecting a widespread severe weather event, a big time, crazy sort of bow echo situation. It's May. These storms happen at night, so we'll be here. We'll be keeping an eye on things, but otherwise, we'll go ahead and let y'all get back to sleep. We've got interactive weather radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar, and you can download our free mobile app as well. It's got a rapid update feed in it, so you're able to actually see the latest weather warnings, all that stuff coming out in real time, and keep an eye on storms in your area. So, with that being said, y'all have a good rest of your night. If we have another tornado warning, we will be back. Otherwise, sleep well, God bless, enjoy the rain. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. Y'all have a great rest of your morning. We'll be out storm chasing later today in northern Oklahoma and southern Kansas.